Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Those of you that watched last week, you're probably expecting... Oh, sorry about that. That audio was absolutely diabolical. I've just started editing and realised it sounds horrible. So I'm going to do a bit of the intro here. So I was out on my easy jog and all I was saying was the strength series that Scott and I mentioned in our last Workout Wednesdays. I will link to that above because I think it was a really good chat. We are going to delay it slightly. The reason for this is because we believe we'll get far more quality out of the series if we can meet up and do it in person. So we're going to wait a couple of weeks, see what the guidelines are like, see what the rules are like, and hopefully we can meet up. So we aren't binning off the series, don't worry about that. We're just delaying it slightly so we can get far more quality and meet up in person and make it a lot more personal, which I think will be really, really good. So keep your eyes peeled for that. We will be promoting it very, very soon. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can get fitter, faster, and stronger by training easier, which sounds very good. So roll the intro. Main topic of this video is how you can get faster by running slower, or actually just training slower in general. It doesn't have to be running. The same applies to cycling and the same applies to swimming when people are able to get back in the swimming pool. Now, I think the main misconception that people have is to get better, you have to train harder. And kind of to a degree, I can see why people think that. There's a lot of videos. Let's take YouTube, for example. Any athlete who has a YouTube channel is going to push harder sessions out to their audience. So like FTP intervals, 5K effort on the track, 10 by 1K reps, stuff like that. That's what viewers want to see. Viewers want to see people working hard. They want to see people in a lot of pain. Those are kind of the clickable videos, if you like. That's why people with YouTube channels like myself and far, far bigger YouTubers out there, they make videos like that. And so you would be forgiven for believing that that's all they do. But let me tell you right now, it is not, okay? The reason why, let's say for example, right, taking my channel, what's gonna do better? 5 by 1K reps on the track or a 30-minute easy jog? No one cares. No one wants to watch me do a 30-minute easy jog. That is a terrible video. Everyone wants to watch the hard efforts. So take the stuff that you see on social media with a pinch of salt. Know that people want you to see that stuff. That's not everything that they are doing. There's no such thing as getting fit in a couple of weeks, a couple of months. Like, it takes time, it takes patience. And I think that's the biggest thing is people are impatient. Like, human beings in general, I think, are just very impatient. We want things now. And that's not the way fitness happens. And that's not the way it works. So yeah, you take someone who runs too hard in their training, and you take someone who runs very easy in their training. That person who runs very easy, super, super consistent over weeks, months, years, they will gradually get better, 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 faster, 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 stronger, 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 and they will be able to work harder when it's necessary. That person who runs too hard on their runs, yes, they will get quicker, and they will get fitter in a shorter period of time, but there will be a point where they hit a wall, they get injured, they get fatigued, they get ill, all of these things, and that is detrimental to fitness, and you lose consistency. And honestly, consistency is the king of everything. I stress it so much to the athletes that I coach. It's far better to have weeks and months of really, and years of really consistent, good quality effort than just a couple of weeks of absolutely smashing yourself, because where's the benefit in that, you know? Like, there's no point in doing that. So I'm going to run through this similar to other Workout Wednesday videos, the why, the how, and the what. So why you should train slower. What are the benefits that you're going to get? Well, you'll be a hell of a lot fresher. Trust me on that. You'll be a hell of a lot fresher for your intense sessions. Now, I'm not saying all your training needs to be easy, so you're going to get more out of your harder sessions, the ones that are key. You're going to be far more consistent in your training, so you're not going to get ill, you're not going to get injured, you're not going to get too fatigued. You're going to enjoy your training far more. If you're constantly going to bed, waking up, walking around feeling fatigued, you do not feel good, you feel annoyed, you feel unhappy. So, and you're going to appreciate those runs or whatever it is far more because you can actually enjoy it. You can go out and you can chat to people and you can have a good conversation, or you can actually enjoy the environment that you're in and take it in rather than be just absolutely smashing yourself and looking down at the trail or whatever it is. So yeah, you'll definitely enjoy it a hell of a lot more. Fourth reason, it will really help grow your aerobic capacity. It is so important to lay the foundations. You will have heard this before, over the winter especially, laying the foundations. Base miles equals summer smiles, you might have heard that. I think that's so true. Getting those base miles in at a really aerobic pace, it might be a little bit boring, right? But just, I don't know, chuck a podcast in, listen to some music, go out with a mate, chat to them, just enjoy the easy miles, like take the piss a little bit. So I do say this to the athletes that I coach as well. On the easy stuff, I would rather you take the piss and go far too easy than go a little bit too hard. Like I really would, because then you can get to those harder sessions feeling so much better. So we're moving on to the how. Now, how can you run slower? It's actually, it's a weird question. How can you run slower? You just run a little bit slower. But it's actually quite challenging. Forcing yourself to run slow is no easy task. The immediate obvious is run with someone who's slower than you. How else can you do it? Well, you can go out on the trails. You know, when you're out on the road, it makes you more inclined to have a look at your watch and see what pace you're doing. And when you're out on the trails, normally what I find is I don't really worry about pace. I just worry about what I'm doing, you know, enjoying the run. Another thing to do, another reason how you can run slower is look at your heart rate. Now, I would say, I'll probably guarantee that majority of people watching this have some sort of multi-sport watch, whether it's a Garmin, a Polar, whatever it is. A lot of them have the built-in heart rate monitors on the wrist. I've got to be honest, they're pretty garbage. I'm not going to lie, they are not legit. They're really inaccurate, and I would not trust it at all. So what I would say is get yourself one of these, which is just a chest strap heart rate monitor. Yeah, they do feel a bit weird, and in the past I've been a bit like, ugh, don't really like wearing them, they're uncomfortable, and I've been more inclined to focus on pace. That's where people go wrong. They think too much about pace rather than the effort. So get yourself a heart rate strap and get to know your zones. One other thing, and it's so important, and it sounds a bit harsh, but stop being a Strava whore. There's so many people out there that care too much about what people think about them on Strava. In all honesty, no one cares, and it does sound harsh, but honestly, no one actually gives a damn about your easy jog on Strava. No one cares. No one's looking at that. No one's looking at your easy run. No one's looking on Strava and going, oh, Harry Palmer, he's running at 5:30 per kilometre pace. What a pussy. No one's doing that, and even if they are, they're a loser, and I don't care, but because it doesn't matter. I think one of the biggest issues is Strava is people thinking, oh, what is that person going to think about me? What are these people going to think about me? I need to run harder and make myself look better on Strava. No one cares. You don't win awards on Strava, yeah? So it's better to turn up to a race and do well in a race than do well on Strava, even if there is a thing of doing well on Strava, and then being too fatigued and injured and ill when it comes to a race. Like, there's just no point. So that's one thing. Like, stop worrying about what people think of you, because they don't care. Like, that is just the brutal honesty. Like, no one really cares. And when it comes down to it, like, after an easy run, you should feel good. You should feel ready to take on what you've got to do for the rest of the day. You shouldn't be absolutely dying. So that leads me on to the next point, is like having no shame about walking up hills. No one cares. Like, I walk up hills a lot actually, because your heart rate does just spike when you're going up a hill, and it makes the effort far harder. Just a brisk walk, who cares? Like, no one, if people watching you while you're running going, oh, that guy's a pussy walking up a hill, you're never going to see that person again. Who cares? Like, and no one cares on Strava. Like, so stop thinking about what other people are thinking about you, because they're not. Everyone is selfish. Everyone's too worried about thinking about themselves. Do not worry about what other people are thinking about you. So finally, like the what. I've actually kind of covered this a little bit. So the what, get yourself a heart rate strap, get familiar with your zones, run to heart rate, not to pace. I think a lot of people, they think that like, oh yeah, 4:45 to 5 minute per kilometer pace, that's easy. In whose world is that easy? Like, that might be easy for some people, but it might not be easy for others. So don't fall into a pace, fall into an effort. I think that's far more important. So as a bit of an outro, I just want to say, finalize the top tips. Number 1, stop being a Strava whore. Number 2, run with someone slower than you. Number 3, walk up the hills. Number 4, run on trails, because that kind of forces you to slow down a little bit. Number 5, look at your heart rate, get familiar with your heart rate zones. Number 6, have the ability to pull yourself back when you feel good and when you want to run a little bit harder. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We are closing down on 10k subs, and it would be mega if we could get there before or there and abouts races this season. That would be really cool. So I will see you in the next video. Have a good rest of your day.